Hermit Ducks, it's Simon here. Welcome back to the Hermit's Cave. It's one of those nights. It's 3:26 in the morning. It's a Nine of Swords kind of night. Lots of things running through my mind when I get like this, and I can't sleep. There is an alarm going off somewhere in the distance, which it is somewhere in the distance, but it makes it feel like it's outside of my window. Hopefully it's not too distracting and it's not coming through on camera. But I decided that I wanted to kind of get everything off my mind. So I thought about setting up my camera and just talking as if I'm doing a video. It may make a video. In fact, if you're watching this, then it has made a video. I just don't know if what I'm going to say will be clear, whether I would get everything across that I want to say if this ever does become a video. But let's just see. So if you've watched my channel for a while, you will know that I'm a big advocate for mental health. I have and do suffer from depression, sometimes anxiety. I am a survivor of a mental breakdown in 2001 where I was hospitalised. It's hard to believe that that's almost 20 years ago. But that was after many years, I think, of having undiagnosed depression, which culminated in my body reacting in the way that it did. But every so often, I receive a visitor, an uninvited visitor. And that's how I kind of term, I've heard people refer to the black dog, the unwelcomed guest. I wouldn't use the phrase guest, because even if it's unwelcome, if somebody is staying in your home, even if you weren't expecting them, if they're termed as a guest, you kind of want to pamper to them and you kind of want to look after them. And with my uninvited visitor, that's not the case. I think there's been a lot of things I wanted to do with my channel that I have done in the 3 years or so that I've been on YouTube, but I do want to have a lasting legacy, if you like, of being somebody who isn't afraid to speak about depression and what depression is like for me, in the hopes that other people who are out there who might find themselves in a similar situation will connect with them and make people realize that they're not so as alone as they might think that they are. In the same way that I've talked about leaving organized religion and the people that reached out to me, and we formed some lovely friendships. So I've never shied away from discussing the impact that depression has had on me, and it continues to do so. I feel that if I talk about it and open the discussion, then more people will speak about it and the subject becomes less taboo, because let's face it, it still is kind of taboo. People skirt around it, people feel uncomfortable talking about it, and there's still a stigma. There's still a stigma attached to mental health, and there are varying degrees of mental health. I'm not somebody who, thankfully, has suffered psychosis. But that's not to say that if you do and you're not watching this, that, you know, we can't be understanding of that and empathetic, I should say, of that. But the uninvited visitor has turned up many times in my life, and I'll call him he always turns up without warning, but I always know when he's arrived. I know because, and it can be in the middle of a holiday. It can be halfway through Christmas, or, you know, it can be on a Sunday evening as I'm sitting down to watch a drama on TV. He will just arrive, and I know when he arrives because the bottom falls out of my stomach. The tight knot gets tighter in my chest. I can literally taste the fear in my mouth, and my otherwise bright world suddenly goes very dim, and I feel very lost, very afraid, and life just changes in an instant. And you can feel very, very alone. And that's ironic, because the way that I deal with this, when that does happen, when he does arrive, is to push everybody away and retreat. I am the hermit, and I retreat because I don't want to be around people when I feel how I feel, and B, I don't want people to spot it. I don't want people to know a lot of the times when my uninvited visitor arrives. I'm really good at, somebody even said to me today, you're very good at masking. And people who are really, really close to me, family and close friends, can always tell. I go very quiet, I go very withdrawn. My mum is brilliant at spotting it straight away. What's wrong? She'll say, there's something wrong, I can tell. But I have become very good at masking it. And masking is a really good word, isn't it? Because we wear masks. I can function when my uninvited visitor is here. I can still carry on with work. I can still make videos, you know. I will, it reminds me of Jim Carrey's The Mask. Just before I hit that record button, you know, I say to myself, it's showtime. When my uninvited visitor is here, and I wear a mask and I get through it and I smile, and not a lot of people know. Unless it becomes so consuming that I get to the point, like I did last June, where I just said, I'm gonna have to take a break. You know, I'm gonna have to take a break. Because everything becomes too much. Even the smallest of things become too much. And things that aren't actually as they appear. No, sorry. Things that are happening appear different when you're in a state of depression. A joke that may be said is taken very personally. A throwaway comment that wasn't at all intended to hurt really hurts. And that's why I like to step back, and that's why I like to self-protect when my uninvited visitor is here, because I don't want to be around people who might not understand and therefore could hurt unintentionally. I also really don't want to hear the, you know, you're great, you'll get through this, as well as all the other stuff that people mean with good intentions but haven't really thought it through, like snap out of it, you know, or this is not like you. So I do retreat, and that works for me, just to be given some time to be alone and to process everything, and I don't know, just deal with it the best way that I can, because I know, and this is the upside, I know that my uninvited visitor is not here for the long haul. The longest he ever stayed was 3 years, and that was back in 2001. He might be here for a day or two, he might be here for a week, he might be here for a couple of weeks, but I know that I get through it, and that's what keeps me going. Because when he's here and he's got a strong hold, you know, those thoughts in your head that I can't keep doing this, I can't keep having him turn up whenever he wants to and take control of my life, or life isn't worth living, I know that it is, because I know that it's always going to be temporary, and those times in between are going to be wonderful again, and life generally is good. And I know that life is a lesson, you know, we're always learning, we're always growing, and this is what I deal with. Other people deal with physical illnesses and such. This is an illness like any other, but, you know, we have to focus on those times, those moments where our uninvited visitors aren't present. I want to make it clear as well that I don't want to come across as being ungrateful. I know that I am loved, I know that I'm supported. I am so blessed to have the most amazing, wonderful, supportive family. I'm so fortunate to have an incredible support system in friends, both in my locality and all across the world through this medium. But I can't really deal with people other than when I need to, when my uninvited visitor is here, because it takes up too much time and it can be exhausting. A lot of people will, to get through it, will self-medicate. Some people drink, some people take drugs. I do it through overeating. That's my downfall. To feel something when my uninvited visitor is here, I eat, and I know I don't make wise choices with food. It's almost like I'm sabotaging all the good work that I've done. But I think it's because food for me, growing up, was always a reward. It was always a treat. You know, we didn't have a lot, so good school reports meant a reward. I could go to the sweet shop, I could choose sweets or chocolate, and it was always very comforting. Birthday every year, there'd be a box of Maltesers. So when I'm feeling really, really low, having food that is unhealthy, like chocolates and sweets and things like that, it's my way to self-medicate. It's to, I've heard it described as comfort eating. To me, it's not necessarily comfort eating, it's just trying to feel something, you know, when you're consumed by this shadow, this uninvited visitor, to reward yourself and try and pick yourself up with food. So I guess the purpose of making this video is to remind ourselves that life is good when our uninvited visitors aren't present, when they've gone. And hopefully, if like me, he's away a lot longer than he is here. Yes, I live in fear of him coming back, but I have to focus on how great life is when he's not here. And life is worth living. And I hope that this video helps you to understand, if you feel the same, that things will get better. We must lift each other up. We must talk. This can't be taboo. This can't be a stigma anymore. You know, it affects now 1 in 3 people. That's a third of the population. So let's talk, you know, let's talk about it. Let's shine a light on it. There can't be shadows if we're shining a light. Life will get better for me, for you. So just know that there are people out there who feel the same way, within our community, within all communities. And I just hope, it's my hope, that yes, you know, this is a channel that's always about tarot. This might not please people, me making this video, but that's okay, because even as tarot unites us, there are many other facets to our lives that we have in common as well, and this could be one of them. If you're like me, when the uninvited visitor arrives, you don't want to read the tarot. A friend said to me today, why don't you meditate? I don't want to meditate when the uninvited visitor is here. I don't want to do anything. I don't even want to get out of bed. I don't want to chant. I don't want to do a spread. I don't want to journal. Because it can be so consuming. But I try. I pull my cards, I look at them, I try and make some sense out of them. But also for me, I realise that it's a waiting game, and I have to get through it when my uninvited visitor is here. Whatever works for you, let it work for you. But my intention from doing this, as I said at the beginning, was just to kind of get it out. I think I will upload it. I hope it helps. But let's talk. You know, you might not want to put comments below with your name against those comments. I understand that too. If you're linked to me in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group, then you can PM me via clicking on my name in that group, if you prefer that way. I don't know if I can get back to everybody, because particularly when my uninvited visitor is here, I kind of stay away from social media. But I'll do my best. I'll do my best, because sometimes being busy with that can also help. I hope you don't mind me being honest and talking, but as I said, I think it is really important that we should be advocates, and we should talk about mental health, depression, anxiety, and as I said, shine a light on it and dispel those shadows. Thank you for watching.